We got our first little bit of snow here last night. It's November 15th. It's minus 10 Celsius, about 14 Fahrenheit, so I think it's time to winterize a boat. We gotta clean out the garage here. We got bags of deer food, corn for the deers, leftover wood. Anyway, got the boat in the shop. It's kind of warming up. Looks small inside here, but anyway, what we did, we've moved it in here for about the last week, and I just had the compartments open, and we got to take all the gear, all the raincoats, and all the clothing and all the stuff out of the compartments. We'll dry that out, and we'll start winterizing everything. First step was I took out the plug on the back of the boat, as well as we lifted up the front of the boat and kind of just poured the water out, or got the water out that was in the live wells, and we're going to take the vacuum cleaner and we'll just blow the water out of the 2 live wells as well as out of the intakes. Nice and toasty in here with the stove going right now, so I'll just keep puttering away. Okay, the first step is we have an 11-gallon live well at the back of the boat, and we have a 30 or 35 gallon at the front. So we've already taken the plugs out. We're going to let the water just finish draining. I'm just going to put the vacuum in here and blow both of those lines out, the intake and the outtake. We'll see how much water is in here. Amazing, I just got the pail of water. It's a little dirty because I used it to wipe the floor up after we took it out of the lines for the 2 live wells, but there's probably at least a gallon of water there. So it's probably a good thing to remember to do. Go dump that outside and we'll come back. We've got our helper here today. First step is we're just gonna put a level on the bottom of the Tohatsu. Make sure that's level. Then we'll change the gear oil and oil in the Tohatsu. Then what we have to do is we have to lift up the trailer with put on axle stand so we can put the motor down vertical. Let's get going on this one. This one will be about the easiest one to do. Okay, first up we're just going to take the plug out of the Tohatsu and drain the oil.
It's right up here underneath the front. It's a 10 millimeter. Get that loose. Doesn't take much. It's
We'll let that drain. There's not much in there. I think it's about 500 mils?
400.
Yeah, 400, so just less than half a quart. We'll let that drain and we'll come back. Just when we're waiting for the oil to drain from the Tohatsu, we're going to take the 2 batteries for the trolling motor out. We'll take those out and we'll charge them up and we'll store them for the winter. We like to charge them when we put them away, and we'll charge them once or twice over the winter before spring as well. Okay, the other oil's drained out of it, and we're going to add the nice clean stuff. How much goes in?
it says in the manual approximately 450 milliliters.
Yeah, so just under a half a quart.
I'm just putting under that.
How's the old stuff?
Hard to tell.
Yes, that's pretty dark compared to the new stuff. So,
Yeah.
huh. We just took this little plate off, one Phillips head.
And I took all the old grease off and I put a little bit of new white lithium grease on there.
So just clean that up. That's for the, I guess, the throttle linkage or whatever. So I just go on a lot of dusty roads and everything else. It's just the dust gets attracted to that. So we clean it up so the throttle will work a lot smoother here.
I still gotta grease the cables and that too.
Yeah, we'll grease the cables and we'll do what, gear oil on this spark plug.
Yep.
And I think that guy's good to go for the year.
Grease. Alright, next thing we're gonna do is drain the gear oil. There's a fill check plug at top here, and this is the drain plug down below. I'm gonna take out the top one first. We just replaced these washers last year. They should be fine for reuse.
Not much in there. There's what, 200 mils?
200 mils. So.
Yeah, 200 mils, so a fifth of a quart for our American friends.
Yeah.
I don't know, I can't get all these milliliters, quarts, Celsius, Fahrenheit, and everything else, and that's all confusing, so I don't know why we just don't go to one system. It's actually not too bad. I mean, we changed that, would have been, was it last fall or in the spring?
Last November.
Last November we changed that. So I mean, that was after the initial break-in. So we've had. I wish we would have got a little like an hour meter or something for the motor, but we probably used it for. Yeah, I probably used 200 hours on it this summer. So I mean, things ran awesome. Just watch that drain, then we'll add the new stuff. I always like to check. These are just cheap measuring cups from the dollar store, I think they are. And you can see that 200 milliliters has come out. So, I mean, that's what it calls for. So it's always nice to see the same amount of oil or gear oil or whatever you put in come out that you added. So you know that it's running good and it's not leaking.
And there's no water in there.
And there's no water in it. Yeah, it's nice and it's a uniform color. So. You know, if the seals were bad, that would be kind of a milky color in that, so.
We're just going to be using a 80W90 weight gear oil for this. Nothing fancy. What we're going to do is fill it up through the bottom hole, the drain plug, until it comes out the top check plug here. So I'm just going to start squeezing the bottle into the...
Yeah, so that's containers 200, it says 237 milliliters or 8 ounces, so we should almost use a whole container. For the big motor, we have a little hand pump to put it in, so it's a lot easier. Should buy just a little attachment just so we can do this one too, so there she comes. It's coming out the top. Just hold that in there. It's pretty good. I don't even have to get my hands dirty today. You got it?
Just tighten it a little bit. Not too crazy, just a little.
I'll put the bottom one in. Finger's always good for plugging the hole. It doesn't really come out the bottom if the top's closed anyway.
Yeah. Alright, we're just gonna snug those down.
Yep. Okay, we'll wipe that down. I think we have the spark plug left and that's it. Maybe just a little grease on the...
I gotta take the color off.
Oh yeah.
Make sure there's no fishing line on there, and then we'll recoat the drive shaft in grease.
Did we wrap any fishing line around this year? I think we did.
Last year we did. The big motor, there was fishing line on the propeller shaft.
Yeah.
It's always a good thing to check that, otherwise it'll eat through your seals.
I'm just going to take the cotter pin off the propeller on the Tohatsu. You have to kind of just bend it this way to pull it out.
I'm gonna replace this one. Alright, we took the cotter pin out, and I'm going to use a 17mm wrench on this.
I think it's at 13.
That's 17.
17, okay, I can't read. So I get the young guy to do this. Well, a lot of people don't do this, but we always like making sure the seal's okay. We'll take the any fishing line, there's nothing on that, but we'll re-grease that and we'll put that back on and we'll put a new cotter pin back on. Okay, we cleaned off the shaft. We put some grease on the washer.
We put grease on the propeller shaft.
Propeller shaft. You know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
And we had a little
Wrong one.
torque wrench here.
I won't be able to get that off.
There we go.
I'm just using an adapter for this torque wrench. It's going from 1/4 to 3/8.
Yeah, we only have one little torque wrench, so we'll do that to, you said 9 foot-pounds, which
is 108 inch-pounds.
There we go. Looks good. We'll get the spark plug changed, grease it up a little bit, and we'll clean it up, and she's ready to go.
I just tilted it up so that the oil would spread around a little better.
Just spray that directly into the cylinder.
I'm just going to pull it over a few times. That'll spray a little more.
Yeah, so the last time out we had run the motor out of gas, but I think what we'll do is we'll just take the bottom screw out of the carburetor and we're just going to blow it out, and we'll blow some fogging oil in there too. Make sure that there's no residual fuel in there that will just kind of harden up and plug everything up. Gas. We get the two spark plugs. This is the one that came out of it, and this is our spare. So what we're going to do is we're going to throw the spare into it, and we'll just keep the old one as a spare now until we get another one.
Check the gap on it, it's right. Actually, before we do that, I'm going to make sure we put fogging oil into the cylinder.
Good idea.
Yeah.
I think that's the last thing we have to do for that.
Make sure we grease everything.
Yeah, just grease everything and good to go. Well, we'll take the radio out. We have the fish finder off. We'll put those on the counter and we'll continue cleaning out all the gear. Let's make sure that anything that's in here that could freeze is taken out. I did a little count of all the stuff that we had in the boat, and I was kind of wondering why we couldn't find some stuff around here. So I think we had in the boat, we had I think 9 raincoats, 9 rain suits. We had I think 6 pairs of socks. We had 5 toques, 4 hats, a bunch of mitts. So we'll get that all dried up, put that inside the house, ready for next year.